It looks like Kyle Larson will not have any major sponsors in 2021. Rafael Lessard will go full-time with GMS in 2021. And it looks like Kaulig Racing is officially declaring that they will go part-time in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2021. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. We got a lot of NASCAR news we discussed here today on the channel. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is the one of the major stories of the episode. We're going to be talking about Kyle Larson. Now, according to Andrew Cardinelli, who posted something on Twitter, the hauler was posted on Twitter by Andrew Cardinelli. And if you actually take a look at the hauler, it is the 5 for Kyle Larson. Now, what do you notice on this hauler when you take a look at this? This is HendrickCars.com as the major sponsor. Now, if you look at the bottom of the screen, there are some sponsors like Mac Tools, Cincinnati, Exalta, and Acronis, and Valvoline as well, and the Freightliner as well. But those are Hendrick associated sponsors that are not associated with Kyle Larson. So what this confirms to me is that HendrickCars.com will be the only major sponsor that Kyle Larson is going to have in 2021. And when the fire suit was revealed earlier today, it was very, very blank. You did not see Valvoline on there. You did not see Mac Tools on there. None of the major sponsors that Hendrick Motorsports, associate sponsors, Hendrick Motorsports has will not be sponsoring Kyle Larson in 2021. And another thing to note is that Chevy Goods is not going to be sponsoring Hendrick Motorsports as well in 2021. According to what I've heard behind the scenes, and this is what I've heard, Chevy basically said that if Kyle Larson was going to be taking over his car, we're not going to be giving you the Chevy funding. That's why Kyle Larson will not have any of the Chevy Goods sponsoring the car in 2021. And Rick Hendrick knew this was going to be the risk. So Kyle Larson will not be sponsored as of right now in 2021. Now, is it possible by the end of the year that he could end up getting a sponsor? It is very possible if he continues a clean-cut image, but at least for quite some time at the beginning of this year, Kyle Larson isn't going to be sponsored. He'll just have HendrickCars.com. People say, well, that's a sponsor, right? Well, that's basically telling us that Kyle Larson is sponsorless and he doesn't have a sponsor because HendrickCars.com is Rick Hendrick funding out of his own pocket. And this is a risk Rick Hendrick is going to have to take to make sure Kyle Larson stays. I mean, Kyle Larson's been under a lot of fire and scrutiny if he gets a major sponsor. That's just what I'm telling you. Anyway, basically the big question is, will Kyle Larson have any sponsors going into 2020 by the end of the year? That's going to be the major question and thing we're going to have to watch in 2021. But I mean, from what it looks like a kind of what the GMAC car used to look like, and people are like, well, why is it not the colors of the GMAC? Because GMAC the company is owned by Ally Bank, so that's one of the reasons why GMAC or whatever company it is will not look like that. It'll be looking more black gray. You're gonna have HendrickCars.com as a major sponsor for Kyle Larson, and again, Kyle Larson's fire suit that was revealed earlier today was blank. We also had confirmation today that Mountain Dew and PepsiCo are not going to be sponsoring Hendrick Motorsports as well. This is not a Kyle Larson situation. They did not renew their contract, not because of Kyle Larson, to my knowledge. So this is the big story, and that Kyle Larson is arguably going to be one of the most intriguing scorings regarding how well he does in 2021 and if he is going to be able to get any sort of sponsorship in 2021 or not. This is going to be a major story we're going to have to watch throughout the year, and hopefully by the end of this year, he will be able to get some sort of sponsorship going forward in 2021. On to the next story. Cram Enterprises, a team that is owned by Dawson Cram, will be running full-time and returning to the NASCAR Truck Series in 2021. Dawson Cram will drive the 41 truck. Another thing to know is that they will be competing in the ARCA as well in 2021, and looks like he'll be driving the 94 ARCA car as well. Dawson Cram, for many of you who do not know, he was actually involved in basically costing Brett Moffitt the championship in the NASCAR Truck Series Championship. Brett Moffitt was 2 laps away or 3 laps away from winning the championship in the NASCAR Truck Series, and unfortunately, Dawson Cram was involved with the possibility of Brett Moffitt winning the championship. I realistically here, if I'm going to be frankly honest with you guys, I don't think that this team is going to run very well. I think minimum that they're going to be a top 30 team at best. I think with how many trucks that are competitive in the NASCAR Truck Series, and with this being as small as a team as it is, and I don't know how good Dawson Cram is as a driver or not, I don't expect this team to be super, super competitive next year, though I could be wrong and end up running top 20, top 25 a lot of weeks. I think at best this team will be a top 25 team or 23rd, 24th place team at best throughout most of the year, but I don't expect them to run better than 30 many of the weeks in 2021. So hopefully they can run really well in 2020, but Dawson Cram will be running full-time in the NASCAR Truck Series in 2021. And now we're on to the next story. As, according to Adam Stern, Domino's actually has made a report in regards to the Denny Hamlin PJ commercial they've released. So, according to Adam Stern, Domino's has spent an estimated $59.4 million to air its Denny Hamlin PJ spot since its debut in November per Spot TV data reviewed by SJW's David Broughton. The ad from CPDB Group has been aired more than 28,000 times since it has been released, and that is insane. Now, I have seen it on YouTube. I've not seen it on TV. Again, I really don't watch TV overall, but I think that this is a really good move. Yes, I know people have gotten really annoyed with the Denny Hamlin PJs commercial, but overall, this is a really good move, and great to hear that they've spent quite a bit of money, and also great to see that they've had 28,000 times they've been able to air the commercial. It's going to help NASCAR grow overall, seeing Denny Hamlin in a commercial. We need more drivers to get involved with sponsorship so we can continue to have greater partnerships. And it's very possible Domino's could sponsor Denny Hamlin this year. It's very, very possible with Domino's continuing their sponsorship and their brand in 2020. But it's really, really cool to hear the news about Domino's. I think this really awesome to hear that Domino's is, doing this, and it's really, I like the ad. I know people have gotten really annoyed with the ad, but overall, I think that this is a fantastic move, and I think that Domino's has done a great job with their partnership with Denny Hamlin. I think more sponsors like Domino's and others like Busch Beer need to continue basically letting their drivers show what they're capable of with the sponsorship like the live drivers did back in the 2000s. I think we're seeing a little bit of resurgence with that, but that definitely is something that does need to continue going forward in 2021 and throughout the next couple years. If you don't want the number placements changed, let's remember that a lot of people want this so we don't have to change the number placement. On to the next story. The Bristol Dirt Race is officially sold out with the grandstands. Now, this is, of course, with the socially distanced races. Now, there are premium seating options that are still currently available at the moment. Now, I don't know officially what the numbers that are going to be allowed for the Bristol Dirt Race. I think it's going to be a little bit higher than some of the other races. We know that Phoenix is going to be 20% capacity with 8,400. We know that both Daytona races, and we know for a fact that both Daytona races and Homestead are all going to be socially distant races as well. I'm not surprised that Bristol Dirt is going to have less fans because of the COVID-19 pandemic that is still happening currently in the country at the moment. I personally think that the Bristol Dirt Race will probably have a little bit higher capacity. Bristol's been one of the more lenient areas. Remember, it's in Tennessee, and Tennessee is one of the more brash of trying to get things reopened up. I think it's going to be somewhere around 25 to even maybe 30% capacity, though I could be wrong. It might end up being 20%. But I think that Bristol will have somewhere around 25% capacity for their race, and I think that people will go to this event. Of course, a lot of people are going to think that this event is going to be really, really stupid and crazy because it's a Bristol Dirt Race, and people say that the Cup cars are not going to work on dirt. We haven't really seen it, so I can't give you my true opinion if this is going to truly work or not, but we'll have to watch. I think it's going to be a shit show regardless. Anyway, really cool to hear the news that Bristol is sold out. I do anticipate, as the days continue to go forward, I do anticipate many, many of the racetracks revealing what the capacity numbers are going to be. I do hope by the end of the year, around this time, we come back to Bristol. The next time we come back, I am hoping and praying that we are able to have full capacity, but it's really going to be determination of what goes on with COVID and what happens with the COVID-19 numbers is really going to be a big determination on where we're going to be heading forward in 2021, and it's going to really depend on this. I do think by the end of the year, we will have full capacity, but when we get back to full capacity is going to be the very serious question. On to the next story. Rafael Lessard is going to be officially running full-time with GMS in 2021, driving a 24 truck. Now, this is nothing new. Rafael Lessard was originally only supposed to run 15 races in 2021 in the NASCAR Truck Series for GMS, and there was a possibility that there was going to be a second driver driving his truck in 2021. But we now have official confirmation, because I guess he's got enough sponsorship for the 2021 year, that he will officially be going full-time with GMS in 2021. Now, I've talked about Rafael Lessard quite a bit on this channel, talked about if he is obviously a good driver or not. I think Rafael Lessard is a pretty talented driver, and the second half of the year, especially at KBM, again, let's remember the first half of the year really wasn't anything spectacular, and he could have performed a little bit more. He did not make the NASCAR playoffs with KBM, but he has to also understand that Kyle Busch Motorsports is not as good of a team as it used to be, since they basically went to the spec engines, and basically KBM had a big advantage having the Toyota engines, and now they basically have gone over to a spec engine, which is one of the reasons why the KBM team has really not been that as great as they used to be. Regardless, so Rafael Lessard is officially going full-time with GMS in 2021, which I think it's a good move. A lot of fans are going to be generally happy about Rafael Lessard. I actually do personally like Rafael Lessard. He had a couple standout performances. I mean, he won a Truck Series race in 2020 at Talladega, which really helped the reasons why he got this ride in the first place back in late November, around early December, late November is one of the reasons why he did end up getting this ride in 2021. What are my expectations for his full season in 2021? I think he's going to have arguably a pretty decent year with this team. I don't expect Rafael Lessard to go out and be a championship contender. Yes, this car is a championship caliber level truck, but I really do not think that this team will be a championship caliber level. I don't think this will be the worst performing team in 2021 for the Truck Series for GMS, but I think it'll probably be the second worst team overall, but I still think he'll have a solid year overall. I think his goal is to try to win at least 1 or 2 races in the 2021 NASCAR Truck Series season. And I think ultimately his goal is to try to make the NASCAR Trucks Plus, which I think he can make the NASCAR Truck Series Plus. And I think he'll be somewhat of a contender. I think it's possibly can get up to 1 or 2 victories. And I think his goal is to try to make it to the round of 8 in the NASCAR Plus. I know it's going to be really hard with how tough the competition is in the NASCAR Truck Series in 2021. There's a lot more competition once again. You've got new drivers coming into the NASCAR Truck Series. You got people like Derek Cross and Hailie Deegan moving up full-time. Well, Derek Cross came back last year. You got Todd Gillen returning. You, of course, have all the development and the depth. Chandler Smith as well. So that's going to be a really big determination. But hopefully Rafael Lessard can put up together a really good year. But we officially now know that Rafael Lessard is officially going full-time with GMS in 2021. This 100% confirms all of the drivers that will be at GMS in 2021. I mean, it's possible GMS could, for all we know, be hiding a possible 6 truck, but I don't see that happening. I think all the drivers are officially confirmed for GMS in 2021. And now we're getting on to the final major story of this episode. I had reported about a month or 2 ago, back in, I think it was early December or late November, if I'm not mistaken, I had reported that Kaulig Racing was looking at running a partial schedule in the NASCAR Cup Series, and it had not been confirmed at this time. We now have official confirmation, according to Bob Pockrass, that they are going to be running a partial schedule in 2021, and they will run all the Super Speedway races and the road course races in 2021, including the Daytona 500, but drivers and sponsors are to be announced. And now the speculation begins on who the drivers who I think could end up driving for this team in 2021. I think, of course, there's 3 drivers you really have to think about that are probably going to be running for this. It's all the drivers in Xfinity Series Kaulig team, that being Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger, and Jeb Burton being the 3 drivers that are in the running to drive these cars. I think that this is what's going to happen for Kaulig Racing in 2021. I think that if Justin Haley does not go to Spire, which I think there is a possibility, again, this is one thing I've heard, Justin Haley may be in the running to go to a Spire car in 2021 as well to run part-time in that 77 car, the second car that Spire Motorsports can have in that car's charter, so he probably might be going over there. If not, and that doesn't 100% get confirmed, I think that Justin Haley is going to run the Super Speedway race. He may also race Aspire and run other select races, maybe the road course races for that team. But Justin Haley, I think, is going to run the Super Speedway races in 2021. And I think AJ Allmendinger is going to race all of the road course races in 2021. Now, this car is going to have to qualify in this year's Daytona 500 because they currently do not have a charter and they're a part-time team. Now, they actually did make a Cup start back in 2020. They were actually able to make it to Daytona 500, had a pretty decent run with Justin Haley as well in 2020. So this team has a lot of aspirations. They've been really on the grind. I mean, they've been really up to speed the last couple years. In 2020, they got quite a few wins in NASCAR Xfinity Series. They had one of their drivers actually make the Final Four. That being, of course, Justin Haley was able to make it, I think, off a win at Talladega. Well, actually, I think he made it on points, if I'm not mistaken, is the reason he ended up making it to the finals. Ross Chastain had a pretty overall good year. Guess he didn't win a race, but he was pretty consistent. And AJ Allmendinger also ran a couple races and actually won, I think, once or twice in 2020. This was overall the best year for that team in 2020, and I think that in the Xfinity Series, they have a shot at being really, really competitive. As for the Cup Series, they really would like to go full-time in Cup. I think their aspirations is to try to find a charter in 2022 and get up to the NASCAR Cup Series. It is going to be hard, though, to get into NASCAR Cup Series in 2022, especially with how many teams that are going to have charters. And right now, they're not planning on expanding unless another manufacturer comes in. And those talks are currently, as of right now, to my knowledge, have stalled. And most likely, we might be getting next time, we might be getting a new manufacturer. NASCAR might not be till all the way until like 2023 when the new engine decides to finally come in with some of the electrification components. So that's something we're going to have to watch. But I think they could make the Daytona 500 as well. I think that they will probably make most of the starts that they will make. I think their goal is to try to finish top 30 in as many races as possible and try to get this team a lot of experience. I do anticipate this team having RCR backing. Yes, they'll have the Hendrick ECR engines in their cars, but I think they will have an alliance with Richard Childress Racing in 2021 in their select starts. I think that's what's going to happen. But it's really cool to officially hear the news that Kaulig Racing is going to run part-time in 2020. But it helps the car counts for some of these races as well, because we know that there's going to be probably quite a few races where there are only going to be 36 cars. It is going to help some of those car counts going forward in 2021. And it helps officially the entry list going forward in 2021. So, anyway, that is game for today's long NASCAR news video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, notifications so you get me notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links description below for that. And comment your thoughts on today's video. How well do you think Kaulig Racing is going to perform in 2021 in their select starts? Do you think they will have a shot of contending for wins at all? Or do you think they'll be kind of a slower team in the back? Let me know in comments below. And what are your thoughts about the official news on Kyle Larson? Let me know what your thoughts on the whole situation with Kyle Larson. Just let me know. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like it so YouTube can recommend more of these great videos out to you guys. If you do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, once again, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.